Hey guys, this is Mike. In this video, we're going to use user input, specifically from a keyboard. And what I want to do in this video is create a simulation that draws a circle that is controlled by the arrow keys on the keyboard. So the first thing I'm going to do is go into Orion Dev, and in projects, I'm going to copy an old project, drawing shapes. So this way we have some shapes to move around already. And I'm just going to rename it to user input. Open up Orion Dev and open up that new project I just created. We'll go ahead and rename these. User input source. Change the date. Control the shapes on the screen with the arrow keys. We'll call it drawing shapes 2. So now, let's go ahead and get rid of some of this stuff. So right now I should just have a circle in the middle of the screen that's red. Let's go ahead and verify that. And sure enough. So now I want to move the circle around with the arrow keys. Since the circle's X and Y coordinate are going to change, we need a couple variables here. So I'm going to create a float, a decimal number for the circle's X coordinate, another one for the Y coordinate, and since we're going to be moving it, I also need a speed. And I'm going to set this to, I don't know, let's say 60 pixels. So the first thing I need to do is make the circle draw at X and Y, but we're not moving it around yet. I mean, right now it's just going to draw the circle at 0, 0 still. So to get keyboard input, we're going to use an if, and this just checks whether something is true or not. And we're going to check if the input check of our keyboard and the right arrow key is down. And what this does is it says check the keyboard input of the right arrow. And we can also do mouse things in here, in which case this would be MB for mouse button. But in today's video, we're just going to use keyboard. And then in our if, we're going to move the circle around. So when I press the right arrow key, the circle's X coordinate is going to change. And in this case, it's going to get more positive. So we're going to add our speed times dt. So we're going to move at 60 pixels per second. And now let's do the left arrow key. So if the left arrow key is down, our X coordinate is going to get more negative because it's going to go left on the X axis. And for the up and down arrow keys, it's going to be exactly the same, except these are all going to be Y. And instead of the right arrow key, if our Y coordinate is getting bigger and more positive, it's going up on the Y axis, so that's the up arrow key. And if our Y is getting more negative, it's going to be down on the Y axis. So the down arrow key. So now, if I press the right button, we're going to move right. If I press the left arrow button, we're going to move left, and so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and compile and run this. So I'll press the up arrow key. You move up, down, left, and right. We could also combine keys. So I'm going to hit down left, up right, up left, down right. There's also some other things we can do with input check. And I'm going to let you guys try these out so you can figure out the difference. There's input check, but there's also input check underscore pressed. And there's also input check underscore released. And I think these kind of explain themselves. This just happens when the key's down. This happens when the key is pressed, just when it's pressed, not when it's held down. And this happens when the key is released. So go ahead and try these out. Try to make your image do something different, or try to make your circle do something different. If you guys have any questions, I'll see you in class.